No politicians were harmed in the making of this video. This recording of the Sidney Village Trustees meeting of April 24th, 2023 is presented by The Reporter, Delaware County's leading news source.
At this time, we were going to adopt a budget that we discussed during the public hearing. Is there anything, any other final discussion in public hearing before we close it? Do you want me to go over it again?
Not as long as that's where you were when you closed.
And we did,
Well, there was a change.
no, we did make some changes, didn't we?
Yes, we
Oh.
did. Yes, we did.
Okay,
It's now 93
I
cents.
thought it's up to 93.
We had to
No.
back out revenue
No.
from the codes.
When we got all said, we changed it 20 times, but when we got said and done, we're back to right what we said.
It was 81 last Monday night, I'm
Yep,
pretty sure.
it still is.
Okay.
2078.
Oh, it's
we
not
had-
93?
We had originally
yeah.
allotted for $30,000 in codes under the assumption that fire inspections were 250, and they're not, they're 50.
I can read what we're going to adopt it anyway, but the general fund there is $2,492,481.18. Assessed value on the current tax roll will be $119,972,956. Revenues will be $926,988.51. We have to take $543,126, $122.46 from the fund balance. So it'll be a tax rate of 2078, which I believe is an increase of 81 cents,
No, it's 93,
or
right?
93,
Yeah.
so it did change.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It
last
was
year,
2066 before.
last year it was,
I need to put this,
last year it was, let me see here.
that's the only thing I had wrong then.
Last year was 1985, so that becomes 93 cents.
2078.
And that's because we had overstated the fire inspections,
We had to
so we had to
drop
drop the revenue.
So then you're also bringing more out of the fund balance?
We are bringing more out of the fund balance, correct? Yep, 543, 122.46 cents. Anything Denise, any further discussion? Okay, any board members for discussion? Not, can I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to, not to adopt, or am I, not yet?
You're just closing.
First of
Closing.
all, I'll make
Yeah.
a motion to close the public hearing, which began April 17th, 2023.
Motion's been made, do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded to close the public hearing, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, now we'll go into the normal, open the regular meeting. Recognized guest, Denise, do you have anything?
Nothing today.
Okay. Let's adopt the minutes from presented on April 10th and talked about the April 17th public hearing. There is a resolution in front of you.
I'll make a motion to adopt the April 10th, 2023, and the public hearing minutes from April 17th, 2023, as written.
So we need to read the budget resolution.
We will after you adopt the minutes. We
Okay,
have a motion.
motion's been made to adopt the minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to adopt the minutes from the 10th and the 17th public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, now we're going to the budget resolution.
Whereas the Board of Trustees have duly held a public hearing on the following budgets for the fiscal year June 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. General, $3,962,594.15. Water, $643,768.37. Sewer, $802,736.24. Total, $5,409,98.76. Whereas said public hearing was held at 7 p.m. April 17th, 2023, and heard all persons desiring to be heard thereon. And whereas the sum to be then raised by taxes in the general fund therefore is $2,492,483.18, and the assessed value shown on the current tax roll is $119,972,956 as identified by the Delaware County Real Property Office, and the sum to be raised by other revenue being $926,988.51 and $543,122.46 from fund balance. Be it therefore resolved that the water, sewer, and general budgets for the fiscal year commencing June 1st, 2023 and ending May 31st, 2024 are hereby adopted, and the appropriation for the conduct of village government and established budgets for compensation of its officers and employees. The tax rate of $20.78 per million of taxable assessment of real property shown on the current assessment roll. And be it further resolved that all annual installments of special assessments together with interest due thereon in 2024 are hereby not levied against the properties from which they are due, and all sewer and water rent and any other unpaid bills that by law can be levied on the tax bill remaining unpaid on the 1st of May 2023 are hereby levied against the properties from which they are due. That was a correction too. That was $543,122.46 and revenues of $926,988.51. Resolved that the foregoing resolutions shall take effect immediately. So there needs to be a motion for that resolution.
Yes. I'll make a motion that we adopt the read, the reading.
Read resolution.
Read resolution.
A motion's been made to adopt a resolution for the budget. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I think we got a roll.
We have to do a roll
So
call.
carried, yep, we do.
Do you want a roll call?
Yes, please.
Trustee Tartaglia.
Aye.
Trustee McPherson.
Aye.
Trustee Christelli.
Aye.
Trustee Matviak.
Aye.
Mayor Baker.
Aye. All right. Also, I'm going to,
Okay.
during the, in my comments, I'm gonna say I wanna thank all the board members this year, every single board member, and the previous mayor, along with myself and the village clerk, worked very hard on this budget. It's something I think somewhat new to this board. Usually the finance committee works with the village clerk and the department heads. This year, every single trustee was involved. I know we've learned a lot about the budget. I know we all take it very serious. And I know it concerns every one of us of the fund balance that we had to carry over. I can tell you that we've had department head meetings. We've asked them to be very careful on their spending for the rest of this year to see if we can carry some over and put back in the fund balance. And I've also asked every department head to look seriously at the budget we just adopted and see if they can cut it by 10% in hopes to not have the same issue next year going forward. And I can tell you as village trustees and mayor, we're looking at every single thing we can look at to save money in our upcoming budget to get us out of these situations we're in, so we don't have to carry so much fund balance over. All right, the other thing I wanted to comment on is, everybody knows the Green Plain grant is out there. We were supposed to, move this year to put in culverts. I was on a conference call today with River Street Planning and our grants person and myself, and actually the previous mayor, because he was familiar with it. And we're going to hold that over this year. We're going to hold that project until next year. It's a 3-year project. It was going to be pushing it this year to get it completed anyway. And this will do a few things. We can make the decision next year about this time if we want to cancel it, not move forward with it. It is a 100% matching grant, but the concern is, everybody knows, we have to get a bond to pay for everything up front. By holding it over, we can spread things out, and our bond could probably be cut in half. Instead of a $2 million bond, we could get a $1 million bond. And with any luck, maybe the interest on that bond would not be as bad as it is right now. But regardless, the only commitment we will have if we hold it over this year, it makes sense to go ahead and keep filing for the permits, which again is 100% reimbursable. Anything we do is all 100% reimbursable. But as you know, stuff we have to pay for up front, then get reimbursed, it takes about a month to turn around. I have asked River Street Planning to give me a detailed budget on all costs for permits and work that'll be completed this year, and the dates that would be completed. It'll be minimal, but to keep the permits and stuff going, they are gonna give me a breakdown within the next couple of weeks of what it will cost, so we'll discuss it next month at the next meeting. We'll have a detailed plan of what's gonna cost us to not just stop this grant, but it is 100% fundable, but to spread it out until next year. Any comments from the board?
Mayor, is there any additional costs from our consultants, like River Street Planning? In other words, the work that they've completed already, obviously, if we haven't paid for it, we will. I get that, but when we pick this up again, will there be additional fees from that? Any duplication? I guess what I'm asking is, there'll be duplicate costs from our consultants? And
There's
that?
not supposed to be,
Okay.
no. The only thing if we moved it out a year, the only thing that they're going to work on is filing the permits and that kind of stuff. The advantage we would have to that is, if we had done it this year, we had to first put it out for bid, so we had to pay the contractors. At the same time, a month later, we had to order the culverts. That's why we would have had to have a $2 million bond, because we'd have had to pay $1 million this month and $1 million like in June and $1 million in July. If we spread it out, we can pay that over a period of time and go to $1 million bond, which would save us a lot of money.
Okay.
But I will have a breakdown from them of every single cost that we are going to have. Everything is 100% refundable except for the bond, as you know. Whatever interest we have on the bond and whatever the cost of the organizational fee or the fee for the application is the cost we would have. Everything else is 100% reimbursable.
If we decided to not move forward with the green plane, I would assume then that we would have costs that we would have to pay out of our own pocket.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
No.
Do the fees expire, Mayor, or are they good once we get the fees, or the permits?
Once we
Are
get
they
the
good
permits,
for
they're
a
good.
year, or
Yes,
they're-
that's what
or
they
they
said.
do expire?
No, they said they would be good for a year. They still should be able, if we went to next year at this time, they was thinking maybe November, December, we should apply for, get a contractor on board. And then we could pay for that in this early spring, and then a few months later, apply to build the culverts we were talking about, and then have the work done middle of summer, you'd be all wrapped up by fall. Their theory is it would not, it's not gonna, if we close the program totally, it's not gonna cost us anything, other than the grant that's already out there and what they've already used off it, which is all full reimbursable. If we move on and put it out a year, till next year, it's not going to duplicate any efforts. So I think we need to see what their fees are and so you can have an informed decision. It just made sense to me, the board tells me different, but it made sense to me not to totally shut it down, but to, if we can put it out a year, see what our cost is gonna be, and review it in a year.
I do know that Clarissa had told me that this grant, they changed the procedures a little bit from previous years so that we were talking about this being a fast grant happening this summer, but then they put out that we had to have the permits in advance.
Correct.
And that kind of pushed it back
It did.
anyway because of that.
They said it was gonna be really tough to get it done this year, that's why we had to get the bond and all that, it was gonna be tough. They were threatening that they could even get it done this year,
Yeah.
because we were getting so late in the year. What's the board's, any conversation, anything, anybody from the board, any difference of opinion?
I think the fact that when you haven't secured a contractor or opened it up for bids, I think it's a wise move to defer it a year. I think, like you were saying, Mayor, the fact that since we haven't, we're probably into fall before we schedule construction by the time we obtain a contractor, and I think it's a very wise move to do it this way.
Yeah, I think pushing it off till next summer would be good, spring,
In
summer.
my conversation with them today, an advantage to that is if we moved it to next year, we also could, at the same time, it would save us money because we're supposed to make a soccer field down there. So it'd be a lot less work if they made the soccer field at the same time. I'm all for that, I just gotta see what the soccer field's gonna cost. Nobody told me today if there's a matching, any kind of matching money to the soccer field stuff, so.
I don't believe, I believe there is a match on the recreation portion of it, but for some reason, it seems like I read that somewhere, but the only 100% was the culverts themselves, the way I
To me, that's what
remember it.
I got what they were saying, you could save money on the digging down there if you did the
Right.
soccer field at the same time.
Could be,
But I'd have to see if that's even a place we wanna go, because
Right.
I'm not sure if it's costing us money, we're not interested in sure.
Just because they're gonna have all the equipment there, you mean?
Yeah, they said, because they'd have to move dirt, like if we'd done it this year, they'd have to move dirt, and then next year they'd have to come back and move some of the same dirt, is what they said.
Soccer fields aren't going on Route 8.
I think they're going in down by the,
yeah, but they're excavating over in the cornfields to replace that with a special mix. They're excavating that area there, that was part of the culvert.
I know, it just doesn't,
there again, I don't know
It
anything
doesn't
about,
matter.
I don't know anything about the soccer fields, I knew that that was part of a grant down the road, but I have not reviewed that to be able to talk intelligent on it.
Again, I think Clarissa had submitted for a grant for the soccer fields. I don't know if she's heard back on it yet, though.
And I don't even know if it's anything matching that it's anything we want, but. Anyway, do we wanna hold this one off for a year? Is everybody good with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Committees. I guess the only thing I have to that is, we are seriously looking for a developer, correct, or what we're going to do with Clover Lane up there?
Oh, just to bring everyone up to date, Barry and myself and Clarissa and Jamie Cole, we had a meeting, and where that is right now is that we were supposed to meet again this past Thursday, but that got canceled. But right now, Lamont Engineering is doing an overlay of the layout, the engineered layout, and they're gonna make it half-acre lots. And from there, we're gonna look everything over again and figure out what we want to do with that. So we do intend to have another meeting after that layout comes back.
Okay.
I'll keep the board up to date on that.
Perfect. Is there anything we can do to move that forward and get,
Well, what I'll do is I'll talk to Clarissa. She said it wasn't going to take Lamont very long at all to do that reconfiguration of that layout.
okay,
So I'll keep on top of it.
the only other thing I had, I think everybody's seen in the paper, we got an over an $80,000 grant from DEC to put in 2 rapid charging stations for electric cars. The grant was wrote to put them on Whitaker Way. Eastern Electric, is that who it is? It's doing the work, has now said they would like us to consider putting them in the parking lot behind, Cattleman's. Because there's easier access to electric
Yeah, I
there.
was just going to say that, so we got an underground line there.
Eastern Energy, probably.
Eastern Energy, that's what it is, thank you. They're the ones that helped us write the grant. And that was their suggestion, we might want to think about moving them to the parking lot behind Cattleman's. All right. Anything else under committees? I think so, right? Finance clerk treasurer, anything?
We got together the water and sewer levies that we're sending to the county. It's totaling $65,375.12 of uncollected water and sewer. So it was asked to me today. I know we're in a short time frame of the cold weather and when you can shut water off and when you can't shut water off. So it would only given us like a couple days, you know, to be able to have the guys go out there and, you know, shut everything off and to have it, you know, and then to try to collect in those 2 days. It really wasn't feasible because we have to have our numbers to send over to the county by a specific date. So we're gonna re-levy these onto the tax bills, and then we'll work on after our June billing. And once that is, it's due by like July, the water there, we could, after that, July 1st, that we could do the shut-offs to recoup. It'd only be 1 quarter, but other than that, you're all the way into October if you're trying to generate revenue in a short period of time.
Yeah.
The mayor forwarded me an email from the school regarding the senior parade to be held on June 20th, 2023. It's the same route that they always do. So they're looking for permission. They're interested in having a police car and fire trucks lead the procession.
Which I had talked to the fire chief, but I also know Lisa sent it to the fire chief and the police chief already, correct?
Mhm.
And it's the same as normal, I believe. They start at the school and go down West Main, down Main Street, River, back up Union to Pearl, back to the school.
Do they say how long that loop takes?
They did not.
Okay.
I think it's
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? I was gonna say, I was looking at it, I was thinking it was 1 o'clock.
It's just the senior class that does that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we need a motion from the board to allow them to do that.
I'll I'll make a motion to approve the senior parade the school is coordinating on June 20th, 2023 at 1 p.m., starting at the school, going down West Main Street, making a left onto River Street, making a left onto Union Street, making a left onto Pearl Street, making a right onto West Main and ending at the high school. The rain date, if needed, will be Wednesday, June 21st at 1 p.m.
Motion's been made, do I have a second?
I'll second it, Mayor.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, anything else, clerk? Nope. Okay. We'll move into public safety. I know that, the codes along with the clerk, and I believe the committee has worked on a new fee schedule that everybody should have had, and did everybody get a chance to see that? Any questions or comments?
Do we know, I see he's got charging stations down here with obviously nothing yet. How will that be set up? Do we know how that will be set up once that grant is complete and those charging stations are in? Would that be like a credit card type of?
From what I've been told, yes.
Yeah, okay.
They put their credit card in. It takes about an hour to fully charge a car.
Is
Interesting.
that all?
That's what, these rapid ones, that's what I've been told, that,
Right now, he's looking at the updated list, he's looking at standalone at $25 per stand. And the residential, $25 a flat fee. I think probably he's gonna have to, you have to see what our electric bill does.
right.
We did address the taxi cab issues in these code fees.
Any other questions? Everybody had a chance to review the fees?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when the last time was we had changed them. I think it had been quite a while, so it was good that we did that.
Looks like Vic's still reading. Barry, you got any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Jeremy?
Yeah,
Vic?
I'm good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Somebody want to make a motion then?
I make a motion approving the revised village code permit fees submitted by code enforcement officer dated April 24th, 2023.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, down to grants. We already talked about the grants earlier. I don't think we have anything else for grants. Nothing in there, right?
No.
Recreation. I see it says director's report FYI.
He sent it to your village email.
No, not that. Did you did public works already?
No, he's
No, I skipped right over that. Let's back up to that. I was trying to get it done early. Thanks, Barry. Let's back up to public works.
So, I talked to Shane today, Vic also talked to him, but they have started installing the meters across on Riverside for the first install. They've they've had 2 letters out to the residents for access to the house and to make their appointments to have them in. So far they've had 2. They've had about half of the 60 not make any appointments. So I was talking to him today and he asked me how aggressive we want to get with a 3rd letter. Um, Which being, do we wanna just send them another letter and tell them you have so many days to comply to make your appointment, and then do a fourth letter and do a shut off?
Start now is what's gonna happen the rest of the way through, so we're gonna have to make a decision now, because obviously whatever we do right at the beginning is gonna affect the rest of it.
Correct.
And also, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the postage on things is a lot more than you think.
Well, they're gonna deliver these third ones, they're gonna do them themselves. Shane is, and
I say let's be aggressive. We gave them 2 letters. I say let's give them a 3rd letter, tell them whatever days you guys pick, that if they haven't made an appointment by then, we'll shut their water off.
I agree. Delaying, they're just gonna drag their feet, you know, so
And if we don't get serious,
they're not gonna do
they're
it.
not gonna do it.
You know,
and I do
so-
believe in the letter, we need to tell them it'll be the same thing as if we shut off for non-payment. It'll be a $300 hookup fee to
Right?
turn it back on.
If there's no teeth in it, there's no reason for them to respond, so.
Exactly.
I'm just looking to see what the board's opinion is for me.
Vic?
Well, I'm okay with the third letter of shutting the water off, but I'm not in favor of making a $300 fee to turn it back on.
That's the current fee.
That's the fee we do
I
for the
understand
people we
that.
shut it off on.
I understand that, but, well, okay, so the third letter will probably say comply by such and such a date, I'm assuming. I'm sure we're.
How long do we wanna give them? Let's talk about that.
7 days from the time they get the letter.
7?
Well, you don't know when they're gonna get it. I
They're
think,
hand
All they gotta do is
delivering now.
make an appointment, they're gonna hand deliver it. Shane is gonna hand deliver it,
okay.
along with Mike, because Mike's overseeing the contractors.
So, again, give me, could you give us a history again, how that went? You said about half of the letters sent have not been responded to? Did you say, is that what you
Correct, they
said?
have to make, call in to make their appointment with the contractor, and half of them have not done it as of the second letter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with the third letter and with the
How many,
consequence.
how many
of shutting
households
off.
is that? I mean, because it depends on how big the area
30.
is.
Right
30?
now, it's 30 that have not
30.
made an appointment out of the 60.
So, I'm gonna ask you this, if we're hand delivering the letters, what's gonna happen when we shut somebody's off and they say, I never got a letter? I never got it. How do we prove that they got it?
Good point.
I just wanna talk about that right now, cause that's probably what's gonna happen, you know what I mean? If you just leave
Well,
it
if we
on
do it
there.
by registered mail, then we're gonna put the date in there,
It's
we're gonna
money,
charge
it's
the hookup
expensive.
fee.
That's
Here's what,
expensive.
I worked for a company
Registered
for a
mails will
little
be
bit.
expensive.
Well, how else you gonna tell?
You can tape it to their door and then take a picture of it. That's the best you have in terms of proving that you
I like that,
dropped it off.
I like that. He's got a cell phone, whoever's doing it's got a cell phone. Let's take a
And they gotta
picture of
break it
it.
down and give it to Lisa.
Let's take it to their door, take a picture of it, then we have it. 7 days or 14 from the time they get the letter?
I don't know, so I'd say 7. All they gotta do is make the appointment.
Right.
It doesn't have to be installed in 7 days, they
Right.
gotta make the appointment.
What if they're on vacation?
They still just gotta make the appointment.
I mean, if they're out of town, they don't get the letter because they're out of town. We always have the ability to hear their situation.
Good point.
Barry, would you like to make that a motion?
I have to write it down. I make a motion, we send a third letter to the residents that have not responded to us to make an appointment with a contractor for the water meter installation, and give them 7 days at that time from the date of delivery, which will be determined by the clerk. And if they have not responded in 7 days, their water will be shut off for an appointment.
With a hookup fee of?
You know, $300.
Their standard hookup fee. I'm thinking we're gonna experience this.
It's gonna be this way all the way through.
And upon delivery, we will take a photograph of the letter taped to the door, or wherever we're putting it.
Shame.
I like that, it's just proof, so somebody ain't gonna argue with you down the road. I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second. Oh, Jeremy second.
The motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I oppose in part, so I don't know how that goes. I guess I just oppose to the part of $300.
Okay,
After the 14 days versus 7 days?
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with the days. It's 7 days, it's 7 days. Now, this is a unique situation. There are circumstances, so I can see if this doesn't materialize, then I can say, yeah, maybe as a further consequence, then I say we impose the $300, but I'm just against that right now.
all right, fixed, so 3-4, 1 opposed. Okay. Move on.
All right, I have other stuff to do on.
Okay, go ahead.
The motor, they're still waiting for that to determine what was the cause of it.
Okay, yep,
And he is saying it was a blip.
yep,
And it was immediately when he saw the blip that he got the alarm that the motor had died. He had spoken to Bill Van Gorder today. And he wants to see how we want to proceed, if we want to wait. And my experience with it, it's usually the blip that causes it. The problems with the electrical, whether the breaker failed, overloads failed, and destroyed the motor. I think we should move forward. Is we move forward with the insurance.
I would agree with that. Bill Van Gorder was in and said that that should be covered under insurance, so I would say we definitely should move forward with it.
Because Taggart said it was the blip that caused it, and he said he just needs a letter from them stating that that was the cause of the motor going down.
So do we still have our motor?
Yes. Which one? You mean the one that
The
was
one
there?
that got damaged?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
we do.
Only because, I mean, that's what happened today. I was reviewing our policy with Bill Van Gorder today, and I was just reading all the different buildings we have covered, and it said well. The well was covered, so I asked him, and that's when he said, well, what do you mean about your well? And I said, well, we had a pump go down, it was pretty expensive. So he said, yes, it was covered, and Bill went back to Diane Edwards from MBT, and I got a letter today, or an email before the meeting stating they would need something from Taggart's, and they need the parts,
It'll be
the
the
bad
motor.
parts, the motor.
It'll be the motor, the breaker, and the,
Okay, so they
Overloads.
need those parts as long as we have them. So, I don't know if they test them or whatever, but Bill 100% said, couldn't tell me off the top of his head, but he said the deductible he thought might have been $1,000 or $1,500 compared to what it cost us.
I think it's 1,000, I think.
You know, before we got to change our committees around, I was involved a little bit in what Shane told me. I didn't talk to him about this recently, but he says who may make us whole is the company that provided us with the motor. They're going to review. I think there's a letter in there that talks about that, Barry.
they're waiting to see what the determination is of the motor failure
Correct.
first.
So we may not have to submit that to our insurance company if they feel that's the case. So hopefully that's the case. It would be the company that provided us with the motor. Because that was as recent as,
Said it's 6 months old, the motor was only
yeah, it was
6
like
months old.
last November, I think. If I'm not
So
mistaken.
what is the status there? Shane's gonna reach out to that company?
Well, there's a letter out to them.
The
Okay.
letter, we're waiting for them to respond, but we're also getting a letter back from
Maybe
Taggart as
Taggart, a
well.
letter from Taggart,
Yeah.
and at least start the
Yeah,
insurance
Taggart
process.
could probably confirm that what happened was a result of the motor shorting or whatever occurred. So maybe that, to your point, Lisa, maybe the motor did go back to them. I don't know. We'd have to check with Shane on that.
All right. Anything else, Barry?
No.
Anything else under Public Works? All right, Skip, grants, we were there, Recreation Director, I think that's where we're at.
I saw his report.
He sent an email today, you said?
You saw it, Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
Anything?
You wanna read it? 'Cause I didn't bring, I left my iPad sitting home.
I've done that before.
I was looking at it and left it. Do you have it, or I?
Well, cause
Lisa
mine
just-
won't open up.
I
Yeah,
don't
should
think
just-
we got it, I think it just
Oh.
went
no,
to them
yeah, I
too.
got it here.
Okay.
Lisa just threw me the paper.
Handed it to you
Yeah, right.
nicely, I did.
If you can't get it, I can do it.
It's in my phone.
He's
I
got
got
it.
it, I got it.
He's
I'll
got
read
it.
it.
Lisa
Yeah.
found it.
All right.
So it's baseball and softball programs are underway. Games officially start on Monday, May 1st. They have pitchers set up for May 1st and 2nd. Jamie is finishing up the shirts as
Yeah,
they
yeah, I got it.
came out, great as usual. The DPW has put some of the new infield dirt on the softball fields, and they're looking good. Several parents have said how nice everything is looking this year, which is a testament to Brandon and his guys at DPW helping. I've had only a few minor issues with parents. I've talked to the coaches to resolve them. We have a good number of applicants for lifeguards. I'm hoping that we can sit down and discuss the upcoming pool season next week. Please let me know what time works for you during the week of May 1st. I have been in contact with Danielle Hoyt and Barb Palmer about the upcoming pool season, and I will tell you about our discussions when we get together. He's on vacation this week, so if we need anything, please feel free to give him a call. Brett.
Very good.
Who is Brett?
Brett French,
Brett
he's headed
French.
recreation.
Okay.
Works down at the wastewater treatment plant as well, as an
Yeah.
operator.
He's new to position. Couple of months now, maybe not even.
Yeah.
Probably about a month and a half, right?
Yeah.
Well, a couple of months anyhow. I think he came out in February, March,
Like a month and a
April.
half.
Yeah, been
Time
2 months
flies.
at least.
Officially.
Middle of February, I think.
Yep, I think you're right.
He's
All
not
right.
new anymore.
Anything else under rec? We'll move into other business. Anything? Anybody have anything?
Other than just like what Barry already covered in our conversation with Bill today, which I thought that was at least a good thing to know.
Absolutely.
Rick and I have been working with the police department, for their contract negotiations, but we haven't settled anything yet, so nothing to talk about yet.
We also took the other pump station out of the insurance policy that was on Loomis or Edgewood or whatever.
I missed that one. Our water pressure's terrible,
Is that,
but it's not public comment, I can't say.
Have they been up to flush the
I know,
hydrant?
you can, I don't have told the same thing.
Have they been up to flush the hydrant yet?
Not on our street or on those.
I saw that somewhere. I
You
saw
can
it.
talk anytime you want.
They need to flush their hydrants up there. I was talking to Shane and them, and they said due to your street being a dead end part, that probably would have shut down the water and a turn down, there might have been a slug thrown in there. And they were gonna try flushing the hydrants first, and if they have to do more. So don't go on much longer. I told Joe to call.
Because I was just surprised you took Edgewood offline and then totally took it apart, not knowing how Loomis and Cyber were gonna fare.
Did you notice the reduction in water pressure since they took it offline or just recently?
Since they took it offline.
As soon as they did.
And it's gotten
Yeah,
worse.
and it's gotten worse.
Okay.
Okay.
They were
Barry,
flushing.
you're working on that, obviously, you're.
Yeah, I've been talking to Shane and Brandon,
Okay,
so I'll call them again tomorrow and talk
Thank
to
you.
them.
And they were flushing up at Main and Pearl. But I questioned if we put enough power into that,
we don't.
because if you don't get enough force, are you really,
They have to have the guys come back and reset that pressure differential that shuts it off, correct?
I don't know.
There was a wrong setting on the motor and they got the pressure too high and it shut it off, so they had to back the pressure down. And only the vendors that put it in can adjust that threshold. So I will talk to Shane tomorrow and see where they are with that.
I think she was talking about when we flush the hydrants, we're not opening them up a lot, we're just.
Oh, golly, geez, the one across from me, that was going full bore.
was it?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it the one up on Main and, West Main and Pearl?
Brett can
It was
adjust
on,
that,
but-
he's just
Yeah,
not
it's just,
here, because he went to,
it wasn't shooting out at,
Yeah.
River wasn't
Yeah.
either, and I do know they're supposed to open them up, it's not gonna do any good if they don't.
I'll talk to Shane and Brandon both tomorrow and let you know, Mayor.
Okay.
Brandon's on vacation, I think, isn't he?
No, he was there today.
Oh,
in
was he
the
there
office.
today? I
Yeah.
got an email, he's on vacation.
Oh, could be.
Yeah, he tells me to call him all the time. Same thing I tell him.
Yeah,
Call me anytime.
alright,
If you don't wanna
Anything
talk
else?
to me, I said, don't answer.
exactly. Anything else? Other business? Okay, I guess we'll go into audit and the vouchers, which was Beck.
Yes. Okay, make a motion authorizing treasurer to pay abstract number 19 dated April 24th, 2023 from the following funds. General, $97,508.19. Water, $11,492.09. Sewer, $8,178.91. Trust and agency, $1,483.69 for a grand total of, wait a minute, did I miss capital? There's no capital?
No.
Okay. For a grand total of $118,662.88.
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, we have nothing under executive session tonight that I'm aware of. Anything else before we adjourn?
Did you want it? I know.
Let's discuss that one-on-one.
Okay.
Were we gonna make a motion about keeping Sheena on board, or are we gonna table that? That you-
I don't know what, I mean,
We,
I talked to Ray today about, I know we're getting to the point about minimizing Sheena's time. After discussion with Lisa on it, I thought maybe if we could limit it to 2 hours a month for a reference to Sheena or anything like that. I ran it by Ray today, he seemed to be okay with that. Any other comments on that?
That, I think that would have to be, would that have to be an executive? Can we talk about that out loud? I mean, I don't know.
you'd have to come out loud to make a motion.
make a motion.
You can table it till next month if you want.
I'd like to talk about it in executive session, please.
That would be,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll go in executive session then. Somebody's gotta make a motion to go in executive session
I'll make a motion to go in executive session
to
to
discuss
discuss
Personnel
Sheena's
matters.
hours.
personnel matter. Yep.
Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I go online when I see the water rules.
Water rules.
Yeah. Is that current?
Oh, the report? Or
No,
what?
like if I was to, like, who needs meters, how do you get meters, if you're late on paying, this is your penalty, this is your due process.
It's right on the E-codes of the village, yep,
Okay,
in there it talks about underwater. Yep, the $300 shut off, all of that's right in there,
okay,
yep.
Motion we made tonight will have to get added to that, obviously.
right,
Yeah, right.
because I didn't know, we could enforce non-meters that way, so I wanted to see how you address that.
Oh, that's a mandate,
Everybody's
With the
So it
going
might
to
be a
be.
mandate, I haven't read the
Okay.
water local
Yeah.
law,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
Rules.
meters are a mandate now.
because that should be part of your local law, so I should be able to read that, right?
Yes. I
I'll
don't know
take
if
your
it's-
word
I don't know
for
if
it.
it's updated
I'm not
or
gonna
not.
say right, I'll take your word for it, I'll have to find that out.
Or I'll bring it up, if it not, then I'll come down and see your current one that's just not been
Okay.
updated out.
It's just, I mean, the New York State Department of Health is the one that mandated the meters
Right.
because of the levels. I mean, I'm sure, Andrew, you heard that from Shane too, didn't you? Yeah.
But I think to your point, you're saying it should be local law, and if we haven't done it, it should be, you're right,
Okay,
because it's been mandated to us.
Right,
Right.
Right.
So
I
we just need
understood
to
it was
let
the
public know.
mandate for
Put it out there for publication.
the permit for the well.
Okay,
is what changed
Meters
there.
are mandated
Yeah,
too.
meters are mandated for the new well, as in part of the
That's
package.
part of that
Okay.
whole package, yes.
Should have been done when we first decided to get meters.
yeah, I would hope it has been done, but I don't know.
It's possible it has.
I would
If it
hope.
hasn't, it's no big deal, we
Right,
can
we'll just
still
have
do
to
it.